Okay, guys, we are back in the garage today. Today we are going to make two different types of kobasce. One is going to be more of a Lichon style kobasce with little chunks of meat in it, and the other one's going to be more like a Slavonski kulen style. So right now what we're doing is we're just cutting the pork into strips. This is going to get ground. This is going to be the bulk of the sausage, probably 75-80%. And then we have this is pork shoulder. Then we've got some pork loin, which part of this is going to get ground as well. And then other parts of it here are getting chopped into smaller bits that won't go through the grinder. And they're going to give a little bit of texture to the sausage. This one's going to be more peppers, less garlic, no paprika. The other one's going to be more garlic and paprika, no pepper. All right, next step, we're going to start grinding, and then we'll start stuffing.
I sanitize this as well.
Okay, so these are the bigger chunks that we cut. And now we're grinding the shoulder and the loins, and this will all get mixed together. So the bigger chunks are only loin, there's no shoulder in the bigger chunk. A nice fine grind. Pulling these strips through. That's it. All right, we finished grinding up the meat. We're adding about a little less than 1% fresh ground pepper. I added just a little bit of chili flake and 0.5% of garlic. 2.85% by weight of salt, and a little bit of cure number 2 per manufacturer's instructions. Okay, so we've now added the culture, the salt, a little bit of sugar, pepper, garlic. All the ingredients are in there now other than the cure. We're rolling it over just a little bit, and then we're going to put it into the mixer and mix it for just about 30 minutes. That way the proteins get released and everything binds nicely. You don't have air in the sausage. Okay, so now we put all this grind and spices into the mixer. And now we've got about 30 minutes of mixing. So slowly but surely we're going to get it done, 30 minutes. And then we'll put it in the stuffer, and from the stuffer we'll put it in the casings. So you can see it's been about 20 minutes. The meat is much more pasty, almost like a...
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. How long is it going to...
Much more, I don't know how to describe it, but it's more pasty. It's binding together because the proteins are getting released. So a few more minutes, and then from here we're going to put it into the sausage stuffer. Okay, so you're packing the sausage into balls like this. You're trying to get all the air out of it that you possibly can. And then slap it right into the pot. And every other one you kind of straighten it out. Then we're going to load the casing and fill it. And then we're going to wrap it and hang it. That's good, buddy. All right, so cut it and then
Make a small one.
yeah, make it about right there. Take about 2 inches off of it.
So pinch it?
Pinch it. It happens. All right, guys. Now we've brought the sausages in. We've tied them off on both ends, made knots, put them on a rope. They're full of the bacteria culture, so now we need to make sure that the room stays at 65% humidity I'm sorry, 65 degrees Fahrenheit and 95% humidity for 3 days. We've also gone ahead and weighed a couple of the sausages. 2 of them here and 1 big, 1 small. And that way we know when we've come to dry at 40% weight loss. So that kielbasa right there weighs 7 pounds. So when it is, my math is not that good today, less 2.8 pounds of 7. So 4, we'll call it a little over 4 pounds. That thing will be ready, it'll be dry, and you could go ahead and cut into it. These thinner sausages, they're about 2 inches in diameter. These are going to be done sooner. So I weighed 1 of the thinner ones and 1 of the bigger ones, and we'll weigh them during the entire process. So for right now, the next thing is 95% humidity, 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 3 days, and then we can start putting them into the smoker. Okay, guys and girls, it has been 3-4 days now. Sausages have been hanging. Temperature has been about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. We want to be above 90% humidity, ideally 95. My water literally just ran out, no joke, as I opened the door. That's crazy. So I'm going to refill that. Next step here is basically I'm going to turn the humidity down to 80% now, because we don't want the sausages getting slimy like they did last time. So we're going to move everything down to 80% humidity, and now we can start smoking the sausage here over the next 2 weeks, week and a half. I'd like to get everything in and out of the smoker, and then we'll just keep it at 80% humidity until we lose exactly 35 to 40% of the initial weight. Now, one disappointing thing I want to note, my weighted sausage here fell and cracked, so I'm keeping it for right now, but the one on the left is going to go in the garbage eventually. The other one is going to be fine. But the other thing I want to point out, you can see the tops of the sausages are already getting red and they're starting to dry. The bottoms are a little bit less. So, you know, again, when I talk about humidity, different levels of humidity in the room, we're always going to have a little bit of humidity variance in a room this size. So just keep an eye on it, move your humidifier around, do what you got to do. Okay, guys, so next step is smoking the sausage. Okay, guys, next step here, we've got the fire lit. We got the smokehouse going. Just got it lit. I'm going to leave the door open for a few minutes. I wet the inside of the smokehouse to leave a little bit of humidity in here, and I smoked these out last night once. I'm going to do it one more time. Total smoke time is about 8 hours, and I use cherry wood in mine. It gives it the nicest color and also the nicest flavor, in my opinion. 8 hours total, so 4 and 4. You could go a little more, a little less, but that's pretty much it. And then as soon as it's done smoking, I take it back into the curing room at 80% humidity until we get to our desired weight. Hey guys, so back here in the cure room, humidity's a little low. I just had the door open, but we just pulled the sausages out of the smoker. The second batch of sausages just got out of the smoker. Ideal humidity, what we're looking for here at this point in time, it's been about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, is we want to be in that 70% range from now until we lose 35 to 40% of the original weight of the sausage. So you can see skins are looking a lot darker because you have that first layer of meat that's been drying out. Much firmer to the touch. This is where the gap you can see is where the sticks were from the smoking process. Some of these that are more in the V shape, I've been turning them because where the two sausages were meeting wasn't really drying properly. So next year I'll probably do something a little different. I'll probably just end up going with, 12 to 20 inch sausages rather than trying to do two. And then I got to deal with this gap where they touch and it not drying out properly. So here what I'll do, these, we can see the gap from the sticks. What I'm going to do is turn these eventually so we can have them more in a V shape like this, so both sides dry. But that's it. So after smoking, 8 to 10 hours of smoke, bring them back in here to cure until they get down to 60% of their original weight. Okay guys, after a few months of drying and humidity and smoking and all sorts of other good stuff, here we are. We are wrapping it up today, putting these kobasice, the kulen, everything is going into vacuum pack seals. So I'm gonna cut some of the bigger ones in half so you guys can see, but this is what we call the Lichan kobasice, which is just peppers, bigger chunks of meat, and bigger chunks of fat. No paprika, no spicy, and a little bit of the Slavonski kulen style paprika, garlic, all the good stuff. Turned out fantastic, nice and dry. We need to get these things in the bags ASAP, and I'll show you a couple of these once we cut them in half so you guys can see them as well. All right, guys, here you go. End product. This is months and months of work. Not really. It's 2-3 days of work and a lot of time watching it dry. This is the one, like we said. There's no paprika, just pepper and salt and smoke. This one's got garlic and paprika. They turned out beautiful and delicious, and I mean, you can't ask for anything more. There you go. Thanks, guys.